Okay, let's get started here. These are the ingredients we're going to use for this delicious pizza. We got some water. It needs to be warm. We have some yeast, flour, oil, sugar, salt, and that's it. As far as flour goes, we use just normal bleached flour, but you can really use any type of white flour for this. You're going to be throwing it all in the stand mixer, and you don't need to use a stand mixer for this recipe, but it does really, really help. So combine the yeast and the warm water and the sugar, and once that activates, you add it into the bowl. You add the little bit of oil. You go ahead and add the first cup of flour, and you add the salt, and you're going to get that bad boy going. Now, you're going to start low and gradually ramp up the power on the KitchenAid mixer, and you're going to add flour to it as you go, and you're starting to try to find that good consistency. You can stop it and fold it every now and then to take a look, get all of the stuff off the sides and down back into the bowl there, and just keep going and keep adding flour until you get to the consistency that you want. And when all is said and done, you're going to have a nice ball that looks like this. You put it into a bowl, cover it with plastic wrap, and go ahead and let it sit for a few hours. I want to talk a little bit about what we're going to use to cook the pizza in. This is a cast iron pan. This has been passed down in my family through 3 generations. Now, to do this for the pizza, you want something that has a nice deep bottom and has high sides, and that's going to create that great crust that comes all the way up that you really like. So clean that bad boy, give it a little scrape, use your chain, and use your brush there. You want to have it as clean as possible for this. So these are the ingredients we're going to use. We have the fresh mozzarella, the shredded mozzarella. We have Italian seasoning, garlic powder, and salt. You also see the San Marzano tomatoes. So this is going to be pivotal. These do not need anything added to them. They are the perfect sauce for pizza without adding anything at all. So you have to use these San Marzano tomatoes. They're sweet. They're delicious. You're going to love them. So after a few hours, you want to take your dough out of the fridge. You're going to see that it's risen nicely, and you need to get that out into a surface so that you can roll it. So add a little bit of flour, but honestly, if you did it right, you don't even need to add the flour because it just comes right out. Look at that. Beautiful. Very, very nice. So you put that down on your floured surface, you get your pin, and you get to rolling. You want to get it as thin as possible for this first round of rolling, and then you're going to actually brush some butter on when it's nice and thin. So this is going to create that nice flaky, airy crust. You brush the butter on and you fold it over itself, right? And then you're going to do it all again. So you get that all folded, nice and buttery, put it back down, and get to rolling one more time. Get that nice and rolled out, and it's going to be ready to put down into the pan. Now back with the pan, this is going to be where we start assembling the pizza. The first thing that you want to do is put down a little bit of olive oil. Get a little bit of oil there just so it doesn't stick. One of the things we do to make sure it doesn't stick, you're going to take a paper towel, you rub that all around. Look at that great, great surface. Love that. And once it's ready to go, you just drop the dough right on. And this doesn't need to be pretty. You can actually shape this and fill out some of the sides yourself by pushing like this. You can take little chunks and add where it needs to be around the perimeter just to get it all the way up there. Use your hand and fist to push it up to the sides. And you ultimately want something like this where there's a little bit of crust going up, a little bit of dough going up on the sides there. And now you can start adding the ingredients. So we're going to add first that mozzarella. We slice it up nice and thin. We're going to add it to the perimeter there. And then we're going to fill in all of the gaps with that shredded mozzarella. Now, I like using the 2 different types of mozzarella because you get different consistencies. And you're going to get some moisture from the fresh mozzarella, but not from the shredded as much. Add in some garlic powder. Trust me, this is going to be delicious. And then the tomatoes come right on, and you could just drop them on like this. And you give them a little bit of a spread, keep dropping, keep spreading. Now, you don't want to use too much because you're going to get a lot of moisture from this as well, and moisture is a little bit of the enemy in this recipe. So you want it to look like this, give it a little sprinkle of those Italian seasonings, and surprise, you're going to put it on the stove. So you want this on medium-low heat. You want to cook it for about 10 minutes, and this is going to do a couple things. It's going to create that nice crispy crust with that great brown in the bottom and around the sides, and it's going to help it not stick so that you can let it slide right out when it's done. So go ahead and cook that for about 10 minutes. And then into the oven it goes. You want about 16 minutes at 475.